So you're still not sleeping, even after winding down, no caffeine after noon, setting the right sleep environment, relaxing before bed, and doing the brain dump we talked about. What if the real problem is the clock itself? In week 3 of this series, I'm going to flip around everything that you've been told about sleep. We're going to dive into how to teach your brain to fall asleep faster by spending less time in bed, not more. So if you think you've gotten everything perfect so far, but you're still not sleeping, this is going to be an eye-opener. And make sure you watch till the end, because I'm going to show you a simple breathing technique that I use when my mind just won't shut up at night. It's powerful, it works, and we'll get into it right after this. So if you're laying in bed for 8 or 9 hours, but only sleeping 5 or 6, you're training your brain to associate your bed with plain frustration. It's like being on a diet. If you eat all day long, you're never hungry for a real hearty meal. Sleep works the same. The more time you spend in bed, the weaker your sleep drive is, and the more fragmented your sleep can become. If you haven't watched the first 2 weeks of this series, I'm going to put a playlist right up here that you can click on, or down in the description, because this builds on the knowledge gained in the previous 2 weeks. Make sure you check those out before you watch this video. So hopefully you've been keeping your sleep diary, because it's very important for this part. You should know how long you actually spend in bed now, how long you're actually sleeping, how long you get up during the night. So I want you to take your average time in bed over the last 2 weeks and your total sleep time over the past few weeks. Take your total sleep time, so say you were in bed for 8 hours and you slept for 6. Take the 6 hours and divide it by 8. So your sleep efficiency would be 0.75 or 75%. So this is where it gets really interesting. If your sleep efficiency is less than 85%, that's when you need to implement this next piece of the puzzle. It's called time in bed restriction therapy. And don't worry, this restriction is only temporary. This is going to retrain your brain like I've talked about. So this is how it works. You're going to take your average sleep time over the last 2 weeks, and let's just say, for example, it's the 6 hours. Add 30 minutes to that time, and that's the amount of time that you're going to stay in bed. This is your prescription. If your average sleep time is 6 hours, your sleep prescription time is 6.5 hours. Next, you're going to choose a wake-up time. Make sure that that time is doable even on the weekends. We've got to reset your circadian rhythms and reset your body to be able to sleep again. Once you've got that number, you're going to subtract your time in bed time from that to determine your bedtime. So for example, if you choose to wake up at 7 o'clock, your time in bed's the 6.5 hours, your bedtime would be 12:30 a.m. Sounds late, but stick with me here. After a week, take a look at your average sleep efficiency, which is the number we calculated earlier, to see if it's over 85%. If it is over 85%, move your bedtime back 1 hour. Keep your wake-up time the same time. Keep that time for a week, take a look at it again. Keep repeating that, and if your average sleep efficiency falls below the 85%, reduce your time in bed again by 15 minutes to start with, and 30 if that doesn't work. This will help you find your ideal sleep window. So yeah, this might mean staying up later than you think you want to, but it works. It helps rebuild sleep pressure and tightens up your sleep cycles. Listen, I know it sounds intense, but remember, it's just temporary. Now I'm going to show you how to handle the anxiety and the pressure that comes as soon as your head hits that pillow. So the real insomnia monster is not just your body that won't sleep. It's your mind that just won't shut up. I mean, here's some common thoughts that I had that I know you may be having too. What if I don't fall asleep at all? I'm going to be a wreck tomorrow. If I don't get some sleep now, my whole day is going to be ruined. My night's already ruined. What am I going to do now? And that way of thinking takes something that's not easy to fix, but is fixable, and turns it into an absolute disaster and catastrophe. You've got to challenge those thoughts. This is called the 3C method, and it's going to be powerful in learning to reset your sleep. The first C is catch the thought. What am I telling myself right now? How is this serving me or making the situation any better? And you'll find a lot of times it's not. Write that down. Remember, dump that out of your mind. The second C is challenge it. Is this really true? Has this ever happened to me before? What would I tell somebody else about this? So for example, if your thought is, my day's gonna be ruined tomorrow. If you've got true insomnia, you've probably felt this many, many times, and you've gone through it many, many times. Has your day been absolutely ruined to where you couldn't continue ever? You may have been sleepy, but you could use that to your benefit in the long run. So if you catch that thought and then you challenge it, then you need to change it. Change your thinking with this one thought. Even if I don't sleep well, I've gotten through days like this before. It's happened before. I'm going to deal with it. Remember me saying this. When you lay down, if you start having those thoughts, 3 C's. Catch it, challenge it, change it. Reset your brain. You can absolutely do this. And if you think about it in that context of how many times this has happened to you before, you can begin to flip that switch and change those thoughts. And I know you've had some racing thoughts. I have that sometimes myself. And not every thought can be challenged. Sometimes you just have noise in your brain. If you've watched my meditation video, that really helps with that on a daily basis. I'll link that video up there and down in the description too. That practice alone has changed my life. Not only does it help you see thoughts and let them go, but it also lowers stress and anxiety in your daily life. And you may think it's some kind of woo-woo thing or new age or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to tell you, it absolutely works. And it has nothing to do with religion or anything like that. All major religions have used this in one form or another. So people from all faiths have come together to do this, including myself. But when there's a thought that comes up that you think you can't challenge, the goal is not to fight with it, just disengage from it altogether. Thoughts are like trains. You don't have to board every single train. I know there's going to be really important things that come up. Please try to write them down and get them out of your head. But life happens and sometimes things come up. Just try your best. Instead of trying to jump on every train that comes, stay on the platform. Watch the thought, name it, challenge it, and let it go. Now this technique has really helped me when I get in bed and my thoughts are kind of spiraling out of control, to really help quiet that down. As I said, you can use meditation, absolutely. You may even fall asleep while you're doing it. But if you don't, this simple breathing technique is going to help you take those thoughts, let them go right by, and calm yourself down. This is called the 4-2-6 method, and I'm going to demonstrate. Just remember those numbers, 4, 2, 6. The first thing you're going to do is inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. And when you inhale, try to put your hand on your stomach and make sure that your stomach rises. That's the deep diaphragm breathing that we're looking for. Once you've taken in that breath, hold it for 2 seconds. And then you're going to exhale out through your mouth for 6 seconds. You're going to keep repeating this for 2 or 3 minutes until you're nice and calm and fall right into sleep. I'm going to demonstrate it, but the reason this works so well, that long 6-second exhale tells your body that, hey, I'm not in danger anymore. Everything's good. Remember, our DNA is wired from generations and generations ago when people had to run from tigers. Think about how the breathing was. If you can consciously control your breath, you can unconsciously let those thoughts go. So let me demonstrate it for you a couple times. And yes, if you're breathing deeply enough, you do want to make sure you hear your breath going in and coming out. I almost fell asleep right there, so I'm telling you, this stuff works. Remember, 4, 2, 6. And look, if you want to see a different video on some different breathwork techniques, let me know. I'd love to do something like that in the future to show you a lot of different techniques for different situations. So this has gotten a little deeper than what we've gotten into before, but I think this is going to be really powerful if you do it. Here's the plan. Number 1, begin that time in bed restriction. Number 2, keep tracking your sleep efficiency. 3, challenge those thoughts that may arise. Hopefully they don't. Just the things we've talked about in the previous videos may have been enough to where those thoughts don't come in anymore because you're nice and relaxed, you've got the right temperature, and your mindset is changing. If you do still have trouble, 4, 2, 6. I'm telling you, that can be life-changing. If those thoughts do happen to come, put a label on them and let them go. Focus on that breathing. That's going to calm you down naturally. Your body knows how to react to that. Make sure you keep filling out your sleep diary the way we've talked about. That's going to be very, very important for the next week. Look, if your sleep feels broken, that's okay. The first 2 weeks are just training for what we're building on this week and finishing up on the next week. This week is where the shift really starts. You're going to start physical training that's going to help you to sleep. Less time in bed, more structure, and less mental noise. You've already got the foundation and the groundwork set up from what we talked about in the first 2 weeks. Next week, I'm pulling everything together, adding a few different techniques that are really going to supercharge your efforts and get you out of that insomnia cycle. I'm also going to show you a trick for tackling the exact thought that keeps you from getting out of bed on time in the morning. That's what turns this into a lifetime habit and not a short-term fix. If you've been having any thoughts at 3 o'clock in the morning, let me know what they are and what you're going to replace them with this week. We all have them. What you do with them is what matters. I can't wait to bring this all together next week. So stay healthy, keep sleeping, and I'll see you in the next video.